creeps, Andy here, and today is the first day of fall. Happy first day of fall to you, and a happy first day of fall to you. Thus begins spooky season. So here we are. Today I have my fall horror book recommendations for you. I'm very excited to share these books with you. I have some really fun reads here, so hopefully you guys get some inspiration for your spooky reading this month and next. And yeah, let's get started. The first one that I would like to start with is, oh, almost hit myself in the face. First one I want to start with is this guy, Dark Harvest by Norman Patridge. This book is so fun. It's so cute. It's about this curse on this town. It takes place during Halloween 1963, and it's about this October boy, and he has like a pumpkin head and a butcher knife, and he comes to town, and all the kids in the town have to destroy him before the night is over. And there's more to it than that, obviously, but it's just such a cute, fun Halloween story. There's not much that can get you more in the mood for fall than a book like this. I'm telling you, it is so fun. It's so well written, and you just it feels almost like you're reading like a, I don't know, it feels like a Goosebumps Are You Afraid of the Dark type of story, but for adults. There's some really fun lines in here too. I want to read you just a few of them. Okay, so it's talking about the October boy who has the head of a pumpkin, and it says, "The boy draws another tentative breath, and his exhalation carries the rich sense of scorched cinnamon and gunpowder and melting wax." I'm telling you, it is such a fall book. This book is fantastic for this time of year. His voice is sandpaper and battery acid. Just the most visceral descriptions you can think of. And then this one I just thought was really funny. It says, "It's like staring up at Santa Claus or the goddamn Easter Bunny, but only if Santa Claus were the kind of guy who'd strangle you with your own stocking, and only if the Easter Bunny was the kind of rabbit who'd stomp you dead and peel your cracked skull cap like a hard-boiled egg." I'm telling you, this book is so fun. It was published in 2006. Wow, this has been out a long time. So I did see it last year, and I never ended up reading it, and I am so glad I picked it up this year. Really, if you guys want like a real Halloween tale, pick this guy up. I thought it was so fun. And the movie is actually coming out soon, so when it does come out, I will do a movie first book. They keep postponing it and things are changing, so I haven't heard any word on when it's going to be released. The last I heard, it was going to be out today, the 22nd, but I don't even know if that's going to be the case anymore. It's not in theaters, or you can't buy tickets yet, so I don't know. But I will do a movie first book on that when this does come out, because this was so fun, and I hope it does come out this October. So now let's move on to our next book. This one is, I believe, a thriller, and this is by Ruth Ware, and it's called The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Now this one is a lot slower. That one's very fast paced. It's like less than 200 pages, and it's just like go, 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 this fun story of Halloween. This one is a lot slower, and this one takes place in fall, which is why I recommended it as a fall book. And it's also one of those I can picture reading, you know, on a dark and stormy night, or like by a fireplace. It's just like a comfort fun book. It's about a young girl whose mother passed away. I don't know how recently, but I think within the last like year or something, and she's really struggling trying to like get her life together after losing her mother. And she gets a note in the mail that tells her that she has an inheritance because her grandmother just passed away. Now she knows that this isn't true because her grandparents passed away before she was born, and she never knew her father, but she's in a really hard place, and she thinks, maybe if I go and pretend to be who they think I am, maybe I can get some sort of inheritance. Maybe it's just like a few $1,000s and I can just start over and get my life together. And the story ends up being so much more than that, but that's where I'll stop because I don't want to give too much away. But it really is just like a fun, slow burn. If you like stories that are like well written, everything comes full circle and around again, but it's not like super crazy fast paced or anything, and it is really just like a, you know, relax on a long weekend and go along on this journey with this young girl, then this is the type of book for you. But yeah, perfect for fall. Definitely that it's got that fall atmospheric vibes, like a lot of rain and storms. I try to include different varieties of books for everyone, so like hopefully most people could find something that they think will be enjoyable. The next book I have already done an entire video on, and this is Penpal by Dathan Arbach, and I will link that video down below. I just did it recently because this book blew my mind. It is so good. It is so creepy. If you want something disturbing to read this October, pick this guy up. It has nothing to do with fall. In fact, it covers, I think, a few years of this young boy's life, but it is very creepy and very disturbing. It's one of those books that every time I close it, I was just like, what am I reading? This one did a number on me. So I can't give too much away. If you want more of an in-depth analysis of this book, you can watch that video where I go on a 10-minute rant about how much I loved it. But all I will say is it's about this man looking back on his childhood, and he's trying to piece together what happened as a young boy. I'll read you the very last line on the back. It just says, each chapter completes a different piece of the puzzle for both you and the narrator, and by the end of it, you will wish that you could forget what he never knew. It's such a creepy, disturbing story. I can't give anything away because I really did go into it not knowing what it was about, and I think that that's why I had such a reaction to this novel. Perfect for fall. By the way, I also do have fall book recommendations from last year, maybe the year before, and I definitely still recommend all of those books. So if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll leave that linked down below too. It's another, like, I don't know, 5 or so horror books to read during fall. So if you need even more recommendations, feel free to check that one out. But yes, I said this in the last video, but if you're going to pick up one book I recommend this entire year, I'm telling you, if we have similar tastes, I don't think that you will be disappointed by that one. Now, the next one that I'm going to recommend is Darcy Coates' The Haunting of Blackwood House. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, can you stop recommending Darcy Coates' book? You're kind of obsessed. No, I won't, because I love her. Yes, it is becoming an issue because every time I finish one of her books, I have so many other books that I need to read, and I just think I could go to the bookstore and pick up the next one in the series, and it really is, it's becoming a problem. But this one, perfect for fall. It takes place in fall, and I'm going to tell you the synopsis and you're going to be like, I have heard this story 1,000 times, but I promise Darcy Coates always has a way of taking a story that you think you know and kind of flipping it on its head and making it interesting and actually adding something to the genre, which you guys know is very hard to do with a haunted house type story. So this one is about a young girl named Mara, and she has finally saved enough money to purchase a house of her own. The houses that she's intending to buy, she keeps losing out on, and suddenly this Blackwood House pops up on her radar. Now, it's been on the market for years and years and nobody wants it. It's like run down, it doesn't have electricity in it, and it was previously owned by a serial killer who murdered his victims within the house. But Mara is very against any sort of superstition because of the way that she was raised, and so she decides to move into Blackwood House and make it her own, and she's determined to not let the past define her time living there. But lo and behold, the place really is haunted, and it's such an interesting take. It takes a lot for me to like really be invested in a haunted story and like really be satisfied at the end of one, and I really enjoyed this. I thought this was fun. I thought she definitely added something to the subgenre of like the haunted horror story. And yeah, I really liked it. It was definitely different from most haunted type stories that I've read, and perfect for fall. It's creepy, it's fun, and it's Darcy Coates. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? And then the fifth one I want to recommend to you is this, Stephen King's Cycle of the Werewolf. This book is so fun. It's perfect for fall. Again, it is not one that takes place in fall. It's an entire year actually that it covers. So if you see in the beginning, so it goes through each of the months, and then it has a little story of what happens to like one of the characters or the family or the beast or whatever it is that that month is focusing on. And then you also get pictures as well. So it's kind of more like an experience than just a novel. It's quite short, it's a very easy read, but there's also just some really fun lines in here. Like in the very first page, it's this man who's hearing supposedly the wind, and he says, "It's only the wind after all." And then the next line is, "But the wind doesn't scratch at doors and whine to be let in." Like, it's just so creepy and fun. I'm not a huge monster book loving individual, but this one is just, I mean, it's just so fun. Again, it kind of feels like one of those like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark type stories for adults. It just is a blast. And this is my favorite picture. It gets dark. There's some decapitation and some disemboweling and and all sorts of fun stuff in here. And yeah, it's just, I think, a really fun, cool story. I was really blown away by this. This was the first time I've read this, and this came out in, I think, 83. So this book is older than I am, which is saying something. I really loved the illustrations in here. I loved how it was separated by month, but it also all does take place in a certain town. So some of the characters loop back around, and it is a full novel in itself, or novella, I guess you would call this. But yeah, I really enjoyed reading this one. I think it's like a perfect, you know, monster story to get you in the mood for a spooky season. Those are my 5 book recommendations. Please feel free to leave any recommendations that you guys have for fall reading for me, because you guys always recommend the coolest books. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I am very excited for fall. I really hope that these videos do help you guys find something to read during, you know, spooky season or summer, you know, whichever videos that you watch. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another spooky video. Happy almost October. Bye guys.